Welcome, everyone, to our Salon number 65, Women and the Gift Economy in Italy, with Maya Vassallo de Florio, Stefania Belli, and Sabina Santovetti, with Genevieve Vaughan, in our Maternal Gift Economy Breaking Through Salon series, hosted by the International Feminists for a Gift Economy. One of the unusual things that we'll have today is that all of our speakers and presenters, our entire panel, are with us from Italy. It's very exciting. And I want you to remember that they're bilingual. So with English not as necessarily their first Spanish. We're grateful that Maya will be translating for Stefania today. Genevieve is going to open up our session. And for those of you who don't know who she is, she's going to give us a little introduction. Genevieve is an independent researcher, really the mother of the maternal gift economy movement. She lives part-time in Italy and part-time in Texas. She created a multicultural all-woman activist foundation for a compassionate society from 1987 and closed its doors in 2005. She founded the Sekhmet Temple in the Nevada desert in 1992, which continues on today as a gift experiment and as a temple dedicated to the goddess that welcomes all. She also co-created the International Feminists for a Gift Economy that began in 2001 with a wonderful statement that you can read on our website. She's the author of many books. Her foundational book, For Giving, A Feminist Criticism of Exchange, and her most recent book is The Gift in the Heart of Language. Our next speaker is Sabina Santovetti. She's an Italian mother, an architect, designer, teacher, spiritual ecologist, and artist who runs a boutique architecture and design firm in Rome. Her ecosophy focus on spiritual feminine ecology. She is starting a school retreat eco-village in the hills of Umbria with the name of Matriculture. It will be opening in 2024, and she's going to tell us all about that. We're very excited to hear more. Our next speaker is Stefania Belli. At 6 years old, she began wondering, why did humans create money? She thought it was extremely useless. In 2002, she met another dreamer, Paolo Mendata, and was the founder of a gift economy project called Giving Italy. She began collaborating with the project as a coordinator with the network in Latium and became a member of the council, practicing the gift economy and spreading the word about it. In May of 2022, she started the first Gifting Italy network in Rome. I'm very excited to hear about that. Maya will be translating for Stefania, and Maya will be speaking again. We're so happy to have her back with us. Maya Vassallo de Florio is the founder of the first modern temple of the goddess in Italy. She started the Goddess Temple of Rome and its community with the intent of creating a healthier models of existence and educating participants toward a new social paradigm. She provides coursework and study and research based on matristic values of care, gift economy, peaceful communications, partnership, and respect for the planet, and love of life in all its forms. We welcome you back, Maya. So Genevieve, please would you just give us a little bit of an overview? Welcome, and thank you for gathering all these fabulous women.
Thank you. Thank you, Letecia, and thank you all for coming. I've been in Italy for many years. Now I spend more or less half of my time here and half of my time in the US. But I first came in 1963 when I married an Italian. And I've been living here off and on since then. Many years ago, I began to think about the gift economy and realized it was really something we learned from having been cared for by other people, mainly our mothers. And that is really the basic logic of life, of the being able to receive from someone who is giving to us unilaterally to care for our needs. And that logic has been excluded from our academia because of patriarchy and the market and capitalism, which is really an alternative, a different, opposite way of doing things. So my desire and my hope is to restore the maternal gift economy values so that we can begin to act in a different way in these moments of terrible crisis that we're in. And so I became part of the feminist movement in Italy back in the 70s and 80s before I moved back to the US, and was very inspired by that and have been all of my life, just because those women's values were coming forward. And now I've seen throughout Italy and in Europe in general, people are trying to do things differently. And there are gift economy projects of various kinds, some quite extensive, but there's still not enough knowledge of the maternal roots of the gift economy. And I really appreciate the work of these women who are able to bring into their projects, which are gift economy projects, or at least in part gift economy projects, that then have an understanding of the maternal roots. And so I'm so happy that they've come to speak. I've known some of them. I've known Maya for quite a few years, and Stefania for a year or two, and Sabina I've just recently met. And all of the gift economy is kind of really percolating up in Italy. And there are a number of other projects, not always done by women, but done also by men. But like I say, I think it's important to bring the maternal side into it because it gives us a route for doing the gift economy that we all have in common as a maternal species, as a species that has to be mothered in order to survive. And so with that, I would just like to say welcome to you, to everybody who's listening, and to Sabina, who is going to begin. Thank you so much for coming. And here we are.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Genevieve. Thank you, everyone. I'm so thrilled to be talking here because in reality, the project that I've been bringing forward in the last few years, there is a lot also, part of it is also to bring maternal gift economy into the courses and into the programs that are in reality for women and in the way of being completely in a different dimension, which is the matriarchal maternal, I would call it matriarchal maternal way of being. I would like to step back and tell you that, you know, until 2018, I was an architect, bioarchitect, working very much. And then one day I was walking down the streets of London and I ended up into an Extinction Rebellion rebellion. And I discovered with a lot of pain and anguish that the world was in a huge crisis and that Extinction Rebellion was bringing forward something so important. And from that moment, I was really struck to Damascus and I went back to school. I went to do a master in ecological design thinking at Schumacher College, which is one of the colleges that is bringing ecological wisdom, head, heart, and hands into the world. I started to study with, you know, the work that reconnects with nonviolent communication. My life completely exploded. And I've been started doing and Gaia education, and I've been starting to work with women, doing courses and organizing what I have somehow designed, which is called the She EDE, which is in a way an eco-village design education. I mean, starting from Gaia education. And these are courses to create communities, different communities. And I'm going to just share the screen and bring you into the Dancing Goddess, and it's our website. And this is our program. We are working with Gaia education, the work to reconnect. And I will also suggest, and I would like to talk about one of my mentors, which is Heide Göttner-Abendroth. I've been in this path that I've been doing. I decided to to take a course with Heide, becoming a lecturer in modern matriarchal society. So I've been studying with her in the last 2 years, and I will finish probably next year. And this has been a journey for me, an amazing journey in which, you know, I've been really going back into a new way of being, thinking. And so architecture has become part of my work, but not all of the work has been really architecture. There is a part which is also teaching people how to build bio houses, bio eco-villages, but it's also about really making this shift in consciousness, this shift, this great turning, as Joanna Macy calls it, in which we really have to change and make this difference. So the SHE started last year. The first course was done in Magliano Sabina, and this is our first course with the people. We had 16 wonderful women and 2 Afghan women that came from, you know, that were refugees. And we had also children with us. So we had this first course in which we were really into, you know, going into mother values, maternal values, and, you know, bringing Gaia education into life, into a different, but with a different aspect, which is matriarchal studies, gift economy, the work to reconnects. I mean, bringing other tools into this project. And you see now, you know, living into, you know, this beautiful project of 1 month. These women, they were living with us for 1 month, and they lived and they experienced all of the Gaia education, all of the wheel of the Gaia education. And I'm going to bring you to this beautiful wheel, the program of the Gaia education. And what is EDE? So when we're talking, you know, we are teaching a program that is being also recognized by the United Nations with a lot of prizes because of its you know, sort of interesting capacity to bring in, you know, the different, you know, parts, you know, of what is a system that is sustainable. And so in this sustainable system, we also have an economic part, you know, for example. And, you know, today I can say that, you know, in our courses, we have been trying also to bring the maternal gift economy, which is, you know, part of our program. In the future, in the next future, we are calling also Francesca Lulli to be coming and be with us in the courses. We've been calling women that have been into the maternal gift economy. So we have this as part of our project, but it's not only the economic that we are working with. We are working with the cultural part, and the cultural part is really about matriarch, bringing a new way of being in matriarchal societies. Showing people, what is, the patriarchal damage that has been done in the last 6,000 years, and how we can change it. And in that worldview, we are bringing, all the history and all the, information about modern matriarchies, and also, new ways of being together. There is also the ecological part, which is also building, constructing with biomaterial, and the social part, which is obviously, when you're working in a system, you have to also create safe places in which you communicate non-violently, in which you create projects that are sociocratic. We are all, in this together in a horizontal way. So it is a huge project. It is something teaching how to create new communities, and also facilitating and being taught, because it's not only teaching, it's getting together with wonderful women and getting to know them. And it's really an exchange in which we create this sort of new islands of sanity, islands and of places in which we can really do something different. And the whole course are meant to be, empowering women, really. So this year, after the first experiment, we have organized courses that are divided in weeks. So we will have the first dimension is going to be in Italy. The second is going to be in Portugal. The third in Italy, and the fourth in Portugal. So we are starting also this new journey that we have divided the whole course in weeks. But more than that, we are also working to create with the matriarchal group in Colombia of Nashira. We intend to create in 2025 a She-EDE with the community of Nashira. So it is really something that is spreading. We are really trying to make this project, which has been very successful, I have to say. And the place where we will be doing it is Portugal and Italy. And we have two wonderful places. One is in Umbria, and it's going to be also, we're going to start this sort of school or research center, and it's a place in which people are welcome to come and be with us. And it's a way also to create a new, to empower women. In this year, we have decided to open it up also to everyone, because matriarchal communities are also not just for women. So it's open to everyone. So we're opening it to women and to men and to whoever wants to come, but it's women-led, and the values are matriarchal. So, I mean, we have mother values, and this is our project for the future. And we are pleased to work with this for many years to come. So this is going to be in Italy. It is an Italian, I'm Italian, but most of the people that are right now going to teach or facilitate, they come from all over the world. They come from Canada, from Germany, from Italy, from France. So it is really an international project. So we are really working to create something that it expands in the world. So, I mean, I would say that this is what She-EDE, and we have the dancinggoddess.org, which is our website. So if you want to also write us, we will be, or you want to come and visit us, we are in Umbria and in Portugal. but we are basically on this website so that you can know more about what we are doing and our sort of mission and vision to empower everyone with different values, with maternal, matriarchal values, in which, the gift economy is part of our language. So we will be giving in the economic dimension all these tools, and we also hope that Genevieve might come and be with us, because it is so important as an elder to give us, it is not easy to bring these new tools in a society that is so intoxicated. So we need to really discover together through companionship and through sisterhood how we can really change this world and make this great turning happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, I am really thrilled and very excited to see the growth of your community and establishing new women-led communities. That is so very exciting. All right. So I'm sure there will be many questions for you. And let's bring on Stefania and Maya so that Stefania can actually do her presentation, followed by Maya. So welcome.
Stefania, adesso devi togliere il muto al microfono.
Scusate un attimo, arrivo.
Adesso ti sentiamo però.
Sì, un attimo che prendo la linea meglio. Eccomi. Scusate, c'avevo un po' di confusione nell'ambiente. Allora, volevo ringraziare Jen dell'occasione e anche voi tutte presenti.
I want to thank Jen for this occasion and all of you who are here today.
Mi dispiace non aver potuto partecipare nel senso della comprensione perché non parlo inglese.
I'm sorry I couldn't participate because in the comprehension because I don't speak English.
Comunque cerco di trasmettere chi sono e cosa faccio. Vabbè, sono Belli Stefania, come è già stato detto nella presentazione. Sono italiana e non ho grandi qualità se non quella di aver sempre sognato un'economia diversa fin da bambina.
I will try to do my best to express who I am. I am Stefania Belli, as I said in the presentation. I am Italian, and I don't have peculiar qualities than the one that made me believe and dream of a different economy since I was a child.
Da adulta ho continuato ad avere questo sogno e l'ho anche sempre praticato.
When I became an adult, I continued having this dream and kept practicing it.
Ma in maniera spontanea e non organizzata.
But in a spontaneous and non-organized way.
Ma praticamente 2 anni fa ho incontrato Paolo Malandra.
2 years ago I met Paolo Malandra.
Che è un uomo che ha lo stesso mio ideale e ha messo in pratica il dono con un progetto.
A man with my same ideals and values who put the gift into practice in a project.
E praticamente ci siamo incontrati e abbiamo iniziato questa collaborazione con questo progetto che già esisteva da 1 anno.
And so we started this collaboration through this project that was already had been already running on for a year.
E un progetto molto semplice che mette in pratica l'economia del dono.
It's a very simple project that puts the gift economy into practice.
Questo progetto si chiama Donare Italia ed è una grande rete che va sempre più allargandosi.
This project's name is Giving Italy, and it's a big net which is enlarging and increasing more and more.
È presente sia in Italia che anche in altri paesi all'estero.
It's it's going on both in Italy and in other places abroad.
E la sua semplicità lo rende applicabile e praticabile a chiunque attraverso un social.
And its simplicity makes it realizable very easily for whomever through a simple social mean.
E, praticamente con questo progetto cerchiamo di creare delle comunità presenti attraverso la comunità che già esiste in un quartiere, in una città, in un paese.
Through this project, we practically try to build up a gift community raised on the community that already exists within a neighborhood, in a city, or in a little town.
Attraverso questa rete collegata attraverso i social,
through this net, which is connected through the socials,
mettiamo in comunicazione sia i bisogni materiali e immateriali che i doni materiali o immateriali.
we try to meet and put in communication both the needs, material and unmaterial needs, and the gifts, materials and unmaterial gifts.
Questo fa sì che oltre ad avere il progetto un aspetto pratico, in esso è concentrato l'intenzione di ricreare e ristabilire i rapporti di collaborazione umana.
This helps us, giving the project both a very practical aim and helping us to build up again and reweave the relationships of human collaboration.
E questo avviene semplicemente perché nel momento in cui c'è una risposta a un bisogno o a un dono,
this happens because in a moment in which there is a response to a gift, through a gift,
due umani si incontrano e ci auguriamo che ristabiliscano quei rapporti di fiducia.
Two human beings meet, and we hope that they will be able to establish a relationship based on trust.
Di fiducia perché attraverso questa risposta a un dono o a un bisogno non è mediata dalla moneta.
Because in this way, their response to the gift and their relationship is not mediated through the money.
Ma bensì avviene attraverso il cuore.
But it's a heart connection, heart-to-heart connection.
Non so se è utile, potrei condividere nella chat il sito di Donare Italia dove viene spiegato anche in altre lingue.
If it's useful, I can share in the chat the website of Giving Italy, where the project is explained in other languages. Yes, sì.
Subito.
She's gonna share in a moment. So in the chat now you can see the website Donare Italia, which translated is Giving Italy, and you can just click on it and read the explanation in depth.
Nel sito c'è proprio un canale dedicato in inglese.
And there is an English channel where you can read it, of course, also in English.
E un'ultima cosa, praticamente questo progetto, oltre a cercare di ricostruire un'economia basata praticamente naturale, chiamata naturale,
One last thing, this project trying to recreate an economy which we defined natural economy.
Scusa, ma sono un po' emozionata. Praticamente cerca, scusate, ma non mi vengono più le parole.
No worries. She said she is emotional.
Comunque è un progetto molto semplice e cerca di riunire in tutte le persone senza nessuna forma politica, partitica e senza differenze di religioni. È un qualcosa di neutro, non è un gruppo chiuso, non è un movimento, è semplicemente una rete.
It's a very simple project that it's trying to put people together without any limits of geographic limits, belief limits, political beliefs, age, any religion, and it's not an organization, non è un'organizzazione, hai detto?
No, è una rete,
It
certo, è
connects.
stabilita da alcune regole di convivenza civile diciamo, nelle chat, però è aperto a tutti.
Of course, there are rules to respect in the chat, but it's open to everyone. Everyone can participate.
Per questo abbiamo anche scelto come social Telegram, che non ha costi, ha meno vincoli anche sotto l'aspetto della privacy, perlomeno finora.
And for this reason, as a social, we choose Telegram because it has zero cost and it has no limits in terms of privacy, at least so far.
Mi sembra di aver quasi detto tutto.
I think I said almost everything.
L'unica cosa che posso aggiungere è che è un progetto che oltre che cercare di ristabilire questa collaborazione umana in pace, armonia e amore, ha un riflesso e un'attenzione anche verso la natura, perché
Only thing I want, traduco prima se non mi dimentico.
sì,
The only thing I want to add is that it's a very simple project that in reestablishing this connection between people, mi sono persa un altro pezzo, scusa, mi puoi ripetere?
praticamente oltre a ripristinare i rapporti umani in pace, amore e armonia,
It wants
di
to
riflesso.
reclaim, to recreate human relationship in peace, harmony and love.
Ha un'attenzione di riflesso anche verso la natura, in quanto viene recuperata e anche sensibilizzato l'umano a un riuso e a un occhio in più a quell'oggetto o a quella competenza che può essere donata anziché gettata.
It's also a project that cares a lot about Mother Earth. And so it's ecological because it educates through this relationship the human beings to think twice about the reuse or recycling of some objects that people tend to throw while they could be reused again.
E nello stesso tempo anche rieducare sempre la persona ad un uso giusto di ciò di cui ha bisogno e non in maniera smisurata.
And it also educates people to the awareness of what they really need rather than accumulate over the real need.
Ringrazio tanto.
Thank you all. Thank you, Stefania.
Grazie a voi tutti. Grazie, Maya.
Thank you so much, Stefania. That was
Grazie.
beautiful. Yes, we look forward to hearing more from you. I'm sure there'll be questions. So now we have Maya. So Maya, please.
Hello, I will start sharing a video of the Goddess Temple of Rome, so you can have a little bit of an idea of the atmosphere that we want to recreate and that we offer.
Through the ancient memories that are kept in water, her voice through millennia continued whispering. She has never gone, and now she is re-emerging from the abyss of oblivion. After more than 2,000 years from the destruction of all the temples dedicated to the goddess, in 2015, the first physical temple of Italy opened its doors. The Goddess Temple of Rome is a sacred and enchanted place dedicated to Goddess Aphrodite in the magical city of Rome. Here, the priestesses and priests of nowadays are back as allies of Mother Earth to support her marvelous community in expansion, just like our ancestors did. From every part of the world, more and more people join the trainings offered by the Goddess Temple of Rome, choosing to change the world, returning, celebrating ancient rites, in the awareness of the sacredness of life, and spreading the matricentric values of reciprocal care, love, peace, gift economy, respect, partnership, cooperation, art, and beauty. That beauty that changes the hearts. Goddess never stopped keeping her arms opened. Are you ready to come back in her embrace?
Here I am. This is the trailer of a documentary we are realizing with the University of Rome, with which I collaborate as a founder of the Goddess Temple of Rome. As Letecia said, I am Maya Vassallo di Florio. I founded in 2016 the physical temple of the Great Goddess, which is now an international reality here in the heart of Rome. And the temple offers, and I offer priestess trainings in Italian and in English, sex coach trainings in Italian and in English, and goddess tours and retreats for people from all over the world, just to reconnect ourselves between each other and build up a sense of community again based on specific values, which I'm going to tell in a moment, to craft soul, to craft art, to craft sacredness again, in relationship between each other, in relationship with the divine within, and in the relationship with Mother Nature. So we have this beautiful temple here in Rome. And what is the temple? How would I define the temple? First of all, as you said from the trailer, it's a sacred space donated to the community to hold significant community moments, of course, lived on a sacred basis. The temple is not just a physical place, it's a community. So it's made of people. It's the place, of course, but it's made of the people. Without people, the temple would not exist. And it is so important to have such a sacred space in the heart of Rome, in such a patriarchal city. The community is growing and growing, and people are coming from all over the world to join us in this beautiful vision to plant a flower in the heart of patriarchy, which we did. We planted a flower in the heart of patriarchy because Rome, as you know, is known to be a very patriarchal city. And I always say there is a reason why the Roman Empire before and then the Catholic Church established here. It's as if the symbols of patriarchy are still here in a sort of way, suckling the breasts of the she-wolf, which is the goddess. But now we're resisting. We've been here since 2016. In the 8th of May, we celebrated our 8th anniversary. And it's so important because we practice a lot here within the walls of the temple and also outside. It's so a sacred place which is on the street because we want to give the message that is not a closed group, and you don't need to have a specific belief or political belief or religious belief to come here and enjoy the goddess energy. It's open to everyone. The doors are open to everyone. So it's not a secret place. It's a very welcoming place on the street, so people can see it. And we recently also decorated a white tube, which is just outside of the temple, with rainbow ribbons all over the pole, just to express the message, to communicate the message that we welcome everyone, regardless of gender and of any age or belief. It's for all colors and all beings. The Temple of the Great Goddess, dedicated to Aphrodite, is also an academy where I train priestesses and priests of Aphrodite and sacred sexuality from various parts of Italy and various parts of the world also. People from really different places are being called to join in the training. And it's also a research center in the archaeomythological field in collaboration with La Sapienza University, and which has been cited by many universities of the world, such as Oxford University. And this is very important, and this is one of the forms of my personal activism. I will tell why in a moment. Not because we care so much about the academia, but because it's fair that we take back, as women that operate in the sacred field, we take back our spaces in the places where decisions are made and where culture is crafted. Our values, what are our values and the ways in which we practice the gift economy? Our values are the mutual care, so care that is shared, and cooperation rather than competition. We offer for free ceremonies to support individuals, couples, and the whole community in all the rites of passage that are significant for our life as individuals and as a community, because it's very important to acknowledge these moments of changes, of huge changes, which can be physical or psychological, emotional, while our society of nowadays has lost that, and we want to recuperate the importance of the rituals. Also because the community needs that. Let's remember that the ceremonies are important also to build up relationships on an anthropological level. We offer priestessing, which is a term that has no translation in Italian, but we offer free priestessing to people who come here every Thursday. The temple is opened for free on a voluntary basis every Thursday. And also we offer moments of community. We project documentaries. We do sharing and caring circles, bath sounds, book clubs, and all a series of initiatives based on art, culture, and spirituality, with the aim of conveying and spreading and proposing to people the goddess values. We support all beings, so not just human beings, but all beings of Mother Earth. We support gender equality of rights and chances. We are, among our values, there is always beauty, but not the superficial beauty of magazine, but the beauty that moves the heart and that educate people to create more beauty. The temple is full of goddess art. You're welcome to visit it, inside and outside. And we've noticed in the neighborhood lots of changes in people, which tend to produce the decay lesser and lesser, because they are seeing us as a community producing beauty. So they are they are inspired to produce the same beauty. So we make art and cultivate harmony, plus sacred pleasure. Of course, the temple is dedicated to goddess Aphrodite, and these are among her main values. We put Mother Earth and mothers at the center of society rather than at the periphery of society. This means that we follow matricentric values. Doesn't mean that men have no importance, not at all. It means that we are aware that if Mother Earth and all mothers are okay, every other human being will more likely be okay, because mothers are those who practice the care mainly, but it cannot be all on their shoulders. So it has to be a mutual care. And of course, we practice gift economy. Everything we do it for free as a gift to the community. And this is very important. All the community now allows us and puts us, priestesses and priests and volunteers of the temple, to be in the condition to continue that activity of gift. So we do a lot of pro bono work, but also we are supported by the community. So it's not like an hemorrhagic thing. We just give. It's a mutual gift. And also, I said among my activism practices, there is the desire and my willingness to go always as a speaker to give talks and classes to universities that invite me, because, as I said, I want to reclaim the space in the academia for women, and to do it in a less patriarchal way. Because there is no reason why we priestesses shouldn't teach in universities, right? And also another reason why I do that is also to restore the importance, the social and cultural importance of the role of the priestess and the priests, and to allow all the priestesses and priests of Italy that train with me, of the world, and also those who don't train with me, that will come in time, in the future, to say proudly, what do you do for a living? I don't do the priestess, I am a priestess, and not be looked like an alien, because it's just a normal job. It's, of course, a life mission, but it's also a normal job. And every priest and priestess should be able to live on it and cultivate the excellence in their ability to serve the community, because it's their mission, without diluting them into muggle works that they don't like. So we, in time, I understood the value of mutual gift, which is not exchange economy. We as priestesses and priests in the temple, we mainly do things for free. Of course, there are also things that are paid because it's our job, but we do a lot here at the temple for free, pro bono, just for the joy of giving to the community, not to receive something. At the beginning, when I founded the temple, I tended to hold everything on my shoulders, thinking that, yes, I have to do it for free without asking anything, any help from the community, and without expecting. And I was sort of emanating this energy that was the exact opposite of what gift economy is, which is circular, it's mutual. And I soon ended exhausted, frustrated, and discouraged, depleted. Then I talked about that with Jen, and she said, yes, because this is just sacrifice. You're just sacrificing yourself. The gift economy needs to be shared. So all people need to understand the importance of giving and receiving. Otherwise, just like exploitation that happens, and we see everywhere, the exploiting and preying Mother Earth, the submerged work of mothers, silent works of mothers in the houses with the children and with the elders. It's just the same thing. So I started asking and calling people in to take more responsibility, a word that we fear. We are educated to fear, but responsibility goes hand in hand with power to change the things. And so when I called people in, do you want to join in that? Something magical happened, the magic of gift economy, which opens the heart, as Stefania said a moment ago, opens the heart of people and establishes a connection which is not based on, it's not a relationship based on terms of use and utility, but it's based on relationship, authentic relationship, heart-to-heart relationship. And then the temple started really blossoming. And here I really understood the difference between one-way gift and mutual gift economy, where everybody supports everybody and cares about everybody. So to make the long story short, now there is a beautiful group that work with me, of which I am part. So it's not everything on my shoulder or me and my husband's, but there is a group of volunteers, of priestesses and priests I trained, which is called the Heart of the Temple. And they are amazing people who are local. So they come from Rome or very close places nearby Rome. And they're doing an amazing job, so much so that I can now realize, as the founder of the temple and their teacher, another important project. And this is the first time that I declare it publicly. I will move to Bali for 1 year to do a project of research to learn more of the sacred practices and to be in contact with all the women that operate in the sacred field, not just in Bali, but all in the East world, and recreate the golden thread between women that operate in the sacredness, reconnecting, creating maybe a documentary and bringing all the teachings that we can share here back to the community, the Italian and international community of the Goddess Temple of Rome. And I love very much this group, because they're aware that this is a job, yes, but it's also a life mission. So this prosperity of the temple now, it's thanks to the mutual gift economy that's happening. So I can move while the temple is not a desert, it's a blossoming reality, and I can bring here more and teach more and give even more in a historical moment, especially in Italy, but all over the world, where there is so much need for that, for gift economy and for matriarchy and for goddess values. So I want to thank the group of the Heart of the Temple. And talking about the gift, I want to close giving you a gift, which I prepared also last time for you. You're going to find it in the chat. And this is a gift if you want to start practicing the Aphroditic teachings in a very simple way in your everyday life. And plus, if you want to come and visit the temple and do the goddess tour that we are organizing, which for the first time is going to be open to external people, not just to priestesses and priests, you're very welcome to this big gathering, which is going to be international in Italian and English. And it's going to happen in the magical days of 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of June, where we will do lots of sacred practices within the temple and in pilgrimage to the goddess places in Lazio, which is the region in which Rome is, the places that are less touristic, but where you can really feel the connection with the land and with the goddess. So I think that's all. I think I said everything.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Maya.
Thank you.
And wow, it's so exciting to hear that you're going to be doing this research in Bali,
Yes.
and that you've opened up this wonderful goddess tour to everyone, other people who are interested, and that's this summer, the 21st through 23rd. So just very exciting. We're so happy to have you with us, and thank you so much for your translation for Stefania. It was wonderful.
Pleasure, my pleasure.
Yeah. Let me just check in with Jen and see if she has anything that she would like to offer before we open up to the questions. And for those of you who are in the Zoom room, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to enter them into the chat. I see there are a couple questions in the Q&A. So Jen.
Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. All three of you were wonderful. So great to hear your talks and your ideas. It's an example of the very many ways that the gift economy is beginning to be practiced in so many different places and in different kinds of projects. And people say, you know, how can we practice the gift economy? Well, it's wonderful to hear, but the fact is that we are in a society based on exchange. We're in a capitalist world, and so we have to make inroads in that capitalist world with the kinds of gift economy projects that will move people towards those values. And you three have three different ways of doing this, and there are other ways as well. So I'm just so happy to have heard your talks, and looking forward to hearing more about how you do it. And it gives me hope to see all of this happening, both in Italy and in the United States, and really in very many other places in the world. So congratulations for your work, all of you. Grazie del vostro lavoro a tutte, e sentiamo un po' cosa poi dicono gli altri che ci fanno le domande. So, well, thank you, everybody, and please write your questions because we're wanting people to ask the questions so we can have more discussion about what these wonderful women are doing.
Thank you so much, Jen. So let me just check in with Liliana and then I'll go to Judith. So Liliana, do you have a question for our speakers?
Yeah, I have a question. The first question is for Maya, and it says, I love the energy from Dylan Fairfax. I love the energy in Italy for the maternal gift economy and for the goddess. The video of the goddess temple is beautiful and all seem young and white and attractive. Is there a desire to include the beauty of older women, the beauty of fat women, of a variety of color women, also perhaps the erotic component of all groups? So this reflects more of the values that you're speaking of. But then she adds, I just saw this and it says, oh, I see silver hair people in the Goddess Tour Rome page. So,
exactly. So thank you for this question. I have to precise that this video of the documentary was done during COVID. So you see very small amount of people. So we were 10 of us, of my students mainly. But in these gatherings, we've been also in the Goddess Conference of Rome that we've done in the past. There were even 100 people of any age, also some men, luckily. I hope more men will join that and understand that goddess is not just for women, but we all come from the goddess, so it's also for men, and we need men to do their work on parallel. So there are people of any age, any weight, any features, and we are all beautiful sons and daughters of the goddess. So you will see in the Goddess Tour, which will be not totally for free, because there are lots of expenses to organize the transport and the tickets to visit, but it's a very, very low price just to cover the costs of the organization. You will see, as Dylan said, people from 20 years old to 80 years old. So it's very, very beautifully organized. And everything we do at the temple really, really welcomes people of any age. We have also children and people which are elders, our elders. So everyone is really welcome to our events.
Thank you so much, Maya. Let me check in with Judith and see if there is a question that she has for anyone in particular or the entire panel.
This is for all of the panel members. We've heard a little bit about this from each of you, but could each of you tell us a bit more about yourself and about what prompted you to follow this path, and what were some of the highlights and maybe some of the stumbling blocks along the way?
Maya, do you need to translate that for Stefania?
Maya, you're muted, so we can't hear you.
I said I lost some beats. Can you repeat
the question?
Yeah.
The question is, how did you get to where you are now? What are some of your motivations? What are some of the highlights along the way? What maybe are some of the stumbling blocks? What is your path from to where you are in your current spirituality and beliefs and practice?
And this is for Stefania?
It's for all of you, all three of you.
For all of us, okay. So I translate for Stefania as well. Stefania ha chiesto per tutte noi, qual è stato, la domanda è qual è stato il tuo percorso, come sei arrivata qui, dove sei arrivata, quali sono stati gli ostacoli, quali sono stati le milestones, i punti, le pietre miliari di questo percorso e quali sono i valori spirituali che ti muovono.
Parlo?
Sì?
Ah, ok. Dicevo, questa economia del dono, io l'ho conosciuta come economia del dono adesso.
I knew gift economy as gift economy, so defined just now, recently.
Ma da bambina era veramente un sogno che vedevo realmente e chiedevo dentro di me perché l'uomo adoperava i soldi per vivere.
But as a child, I really saw this within me, and I reflected on that. Why human beings invented money and why do they use money for a living?
Questo perché osservavo tutto quello che era la natura intorno a me e vedevo che noi eravamo gli unici esseri viventi che avevamo bisogno dei soldi per vivere e per tutto ciò che erano i rapporti.
This because I looked and I observed the nature all around me, and I noticed that we are the only beings that use money to create relationships and to obtain what we need.
Ovviamente, quando lo esternavo questo desiderio, cioè questa immagine, questo sogno, mi si rispondeva, gli adulti mi rispondevano che era una fiaba, che era impossibile.
And when I expressed this dream of mine, all the adults answered me, this is a fairy tale, this is impossible.
Diciamo che questo sogno, questa immaginazione netta, chiara, è continuata, ma era accompagnata proprio da delle logiche chiare, nitide di come poteva essere la vita così. Anche da adulta lo immaginavo, ecco.
But this dream, this vision was very clear to me, very neat, very simple, with a very easy and obvious logic that continued working in my brain even when I was an adult.
Ovviamente quando ne parlavo da adulta, gli altri adulti dicevano: Stefania, sì, bello, ma è impossibile.
And
E
even as an
questo
adult, even more as an adult, when I talked about that to adults, other adults, they told me, yes, Stefania, it's beautiful, but it's impossible.
Questo però non mi ha mai spento questo desiderio e questa visione che si è affermata sempre più, che nella vita di tutti i giorni, quando potevo e nella forma in cui potevo, ho praticato il dono senza saperlo poi.
But this didn't turn off my inner light. And whenever I could in my life, whenever I had some spare time, I kept practicing the gift because era più forte di te, giusto? It was stronger than me.
Sì, naturale, cioè non è una cosa
Natural.
studiata, era proprio un'esigenza dell'anima.
It was my soul's need.
Ovviamente ho fatto una vita come tutti quanti, con il denaro, perché la realtà che viviamo, questa realtà, ci vuole il denaro, ma per me non è stato mai un fine.
Of course, I've been using money because we live in a capitalistic society and we need money, but it has never been my final aim.
Nel frattempo, ecco, oltre a lavorare, essendo anche mamma, ho fatto la vita di tutte le donne, lavorato, ho accudito i figli e tutto quanto, ma ho avuto sempre.
In the meanwhile, I had a life as everyone else. I worked, continued working, and I raised my children as a mother.
mi sono sempre interessata, sempre in forma spontanea, di tutto ciò che era un bisogno sociale di chi mi viveva intorno, problemi del quartiere, ma anche, anche solo nella stessa struttura del palazzo, del quartiere, del vicinato, di qualsiasi cosa, l'ho sempre applicato.
But
E
I always
Scusi.
kept practicing gift economy. It was stronger than me, spontaneously within my neighborhood, meeting their needs and helping other people, having an eye on their needs, but also in the smaller reality of the building in which I lived.
Poi diciamo che da quando c'è stata questo periodo un po' particolare dal 2000 con l'avvento della pandemia, ho avuto uno stimolo maggiore perché vedevo questa netta e marcata divisione tra le persone. Forse interrompo, se no non ce la fai a tradurmi.
But this became even stronger for me as a need to take action, especially during the pandemic with the COVID, because I could notice an even stronger difference between people and division.
E in questo momento, praticamente in questa occasione, sia io che notavo la gente aveva proprio un bisogno di un ritorno a qualcosa di più umano, del contatto, del sopperire ai bisogni dell'altro, e è stato proprio una specie di esplosione che mi ha dato modo di esternarlo ancora con più determinazione.
Because I could feel, not just in myself, but also people around me, the strong need to reconnect, to go back to the human relationships in person, and also to meet the other people's needs.
E mi sono adoperata per tante forme di informazioni, di aiuto alla gente per tante tematiche che riguardavano un benessere collettivo.
So I kept, I started studying many themes regarding the field of helping people, regarding many things, to support them and provide.
Diciamo che tutte queste forme erano un po' un sistema che andava in contrapposizione con questo sistema, diciamo, di potere, di capitalismo. Era una contrapposizione.
So I started creating these ways of that were a little bit in contrast with this capitalistic system.
E ho alla fine percepito che quasi tutto veniva vanificato perché il sistema, soprattutto quello monetario, è strutturato in modo molto potente, che è difficile da abbattere col contrasto.
So almost everything I did was sort of became vain, because our economical system is structured in such a potent way that it smashes any attempt to create something different.
Per cui ho praticamente capito che la cosa migliore era usare l'energia per costruire qualcosa di nuovo.
So I understood the best thing was to use energy to build up something new.
E la vita mi ha messo sulla strada Paolo, che è praticamente il mio gemello nell'anima, e ha ideato questo progetto.
So I met Paolo, who is my twin soul in a certain sense, and he is the founder of this project.
Che mi ha dato la possibilità di fare qualcosa di concreto in armonia e non in contrapposizione.
So he gave me the possibility through this project to create something in harmony and not in opposition.
Affinché sia ancora più determinante proprio un'azione di armonia e pace che secondo me rappresenta il dono.
So it can be even more impactful an action of harmony and peace, which are the core values of gifts. Credo che Jen voglia dire qualcosa. I think Jen wants to add something.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the capitalism is really a big problem for the economy, the gift economy, because it is the parasite on the gifting.
Mm-mm.
And we have to realize that it's very important to talk about the gift, but it's also very important to realize that we're in a strange situation because we're being taken from, the gifts are being taken by the economic system. And it is important to bring the men into it, and especially men who are in opposition to the economic system we're living in. But I would hope always that they can also see the maternal roots of even what they are doing as well. So that's just what I wanted to say. Maybe you can translate that very quickly, Maya, because
okay. I was not prepared for that. Okay. Traducendo molto sinteticamente, perché non ero preparata a questa traduzione lunga, è molto difficile, diceva Jen, proprio perché l'economia patriarcale capitalista che è vigente adesso è un'economia parassitaria che si nutre dell'economia del dono. Quindi è chiaro che fa di tutto per schiacciarla, però l'economia del dono c'è, tant'è che appunto viene predata, viene sfruttata dall'economia capitalista. E è importante parlare dell'economia del dono proprio per questo e portare anche gli uomini a conoscenza di questa alternativa, di questo diverso punto di vista. Then I don't remember, I
è
lost
basata
something.
sul materno.
Che è basata che è basata sul materno e che è un qualcosa che anche gli uomini possono praticare.
Sì, ma infatti non a caso Paolo è un uomo, è lui che ha ideato questo progetto che per me è stato, diciamo, una pista di lancio, anche se ce l'avevo in me.
Adesso terminiamo, Maya mi traduce e poi lasciamo che gli altri parlano.
Okay, so in fact, said Stefania, Paolo is a man and he was the founder of this project, and it's very significant.
But now we're going to let some of the other people, like Maya and...
Vuoi andare tu, Sabina, o rispondo io?
Vai Maya, poi io aspetto, sono per ultimo. Grazie.
Okay. With regards to my path, I've always been called by the sacred living since I was a child, and I've always had these movements of the soul towards love, towards the sense of community, towards the sense of giving. I was very giving since I was a child. And not because I've been educated to that. Of course, it had an impact because my mom and my parents, both of them, have always been very generous, sharing and helping other people because they were in the position to help other people. So they taught me generosity is important if you are luckier than other people. And it's your duty, but also your joy. And in my life, I've always dreamt of operating in the sacred field since I was a child. I was raised as a Christian, but my grandmother, she was a Christian witch. So she taught me many things from witchy practices from southern Italy, which are rooted into goddess spirituality, ancient goddess spirituality. So sacred gestures, which are so meaningful, that impregnate the matter with the sacredness and with love we all carry in, and to relate to other people and to all beings, also the beings that we call inanimate objects, but to relate with them with a sense of willing to have a relationship, not in terms of use. I've never used anybody or any animal or any object. Even the objects for me had a spirit, and I was very aware of that. And I kept having dreams since I was a child of a past, which I've never seen anywhere, not even in movies at the time, of me smudging altars with goddesses or holding ceremonies for community of me of the past or the future. I didn't know that. I had these dreams and I didn't know what they meant. I just felt this devotional need, this need to practice devotion towards the community, towards other beings, and towards Mother Earth. And I used, since I was a child, to go out in the woods while my mother was doing, was in the turn of, in the medical practice. I went outside in the woods of the little town where she used to work, among many other places. And I collected the dirty things in the bags because I wanted to leave the space better than I found it. And I felt this mission, this mantra, leave the space in which you are better than you found it, which is one of the principles of Aphrodite, bringing beauty into the world. And my mother said, okay, this is a very beautiful thing, but don't touch these things with your hands, because I collected everything with my naked hands, and it could be even dangerous because that was the time of AIDS, HIV fear worldwide. And so there were some other kind of things in the woods, like Red Riding Hood and mommy telling not to go in the woods. So I've always kept nourishing my spiritual side and my cultural side, which I've always been hand in hand, also the artistic side. So to nourish my need for spirituality, my need for culture and intellectual food, and my need for art, because I am an artist also. I'm an actress, and these led me, my researches also in sacred drama brought me little by little to goddess spirituality, and it happened mainly with a great shock through a terrible tragedy we had in my family. And so I started having peculiar experiences of channeling. And then I started doing my last degree thesis on spirituality, magic, and mass media, because I studied as a journalist. Then I studied drama, and I went further, and I met the right people, I met the right mentors, and this need to explore and to grow and to expand my consciousness in the spiritual field brought me to travel in various sacred places of the world, both in Europe and in the east and the west of the world. And then I saw somebody wrote about the Goddess Temple of Glastonbury. I trained there with my beloved spiritual mother, which is Kathy Jones. I knew Genevieve Vaughan, and I knew about the gift economy, and I received the urge in a dream to study about Aphrodite, which was one of the most venerated goddess of Rome, and I am totally devoted to this goddess, who is a feminist goddess. I invite you to read my book, Aphrodite Unveiled. Many people who don't speak Italian are reading it, because I just discovered there is an application that you just photograph the page and you can translate things. So many people are reading it. So I'm dropping you the name of the book, because you will understand there that what happened to Aphrodite, especially to Aphrodite, to all goddesses, but Aphrodite was the goddess on which patriarchy raged on the most, because she was too much. She was fierce, she was beautiful, she was cultivated, she was free, she was pleasure-oriented, she was generous, she was not at all the dolly goddess that patriarchy narrated us. They did the same, diminishing and disempowering also to women and to Mother Earth. This was a cultural and political and economical action that was taken over all women, all mothers, and Mother Earth. So my mission became very clear when I met gift economy and goddess spirituality, and it all made sense, because I think the important thing in our lives is to understand the frame of work, not just to do practices here and there, sacred practices, sacred ceremonies. I see that a lot in fast food spirituality. You just go to a ceremony and you feel, whoa, I feel good, I feel great. And then you come back to the patriarchal world, and there are no means to put into practice into your community. Well, I think, and I'm working for that, not just in my book, but also in my trainings and in the reality of the Goddess Temple of Rome. What's important is to create a solid reality based on these values, and with a frame of work which makes sense. So not just to do beautiful ceremonies here and there, but having a frame of work, a clear vision, and a clear mission.
Thank you so much, Maya. Yes, a paradigm shift is really completely essential. Genevieve is always calling for one. But it is an inside-out job, isn't it? You know,
absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, it's an inside-out job, and I know that Sabina has some things to offer too in her experience. And Stefania, you know, she grew up just automatically knowing that the gift economy seemed so much more natural as a human being. It just didn't make any sense. So it's wonderful. So let's hear from Sabina. Sabina.
Thank you. I mean, it's really a very deep question. And I have to say that in my life, I really got profoundly in touch with myself when I arrived to the moment in which I was a crone. So I had a very, very sort of strong life, very much related to an image that was more of a patriarchal woman than not a real woman. And when I got to the age of 58, and when I discovered Extinction Rebellion, but the discovery of Extinction Rebellion was the discovery of the destruction of a planet, which I've been an architect, a bioarchitect for many years. I've been aware. You know, I remember when I won the first prize when I was 13, because my father, who was an enlightened architect, he made me do a project in 1973 on pollution. He was already aware that the world was on fire. And I remember I won. I mean, I did go to an American school, so I grew up in an American system, in an English system. So my life has been really, you know, I'm Italian, but I'm not Italian because I've been living 30 years of my life outside of Italy. But that's not the point. The point is that all of a sudden, at the age of 58, I started studying Extinction Rebellion. I started studying the IPCC reports and realized how deep was, you know, this anthropological, I mean, wound that we have inflicted to the planet. And for me, that was a moment in which I was crying for months. I was in deep mourning, and that's when I really stopped being an architect. I decided to go back to school to find out what was going on. And at the same time, the other aha was that I read The Dancing Goddess. And The Dancing Goddess is an amazing book that was written by Heide Gutner Abendroth. And being an artist, being a woman, a feminist, I read a book on matriarchal aesthetics and realized that it was what it was. Women were different. And everything, so I advise every one of you, if you haven't read the book, to read The Dancing Goddess, and that's where it comes from. My www.dancinggoddess.org is honoring Heide Gutner Abendroth, really way of seeing what are matriarchal cultures. And that's when I discovered, you know, that the she history was had been completely forgotten by academia. I come from the Sorbonne. Before becoming an architect, I studied, my first PhD was in art history at the Sorbonne. And I never heard anybody talk about Maria Gimbutas, about old Europe, about matriarchal societies, about Indo-European invasions that had destroyed a peaceful world made of, for hundreds of thousands of years, made by goddesses and not gods. And that's when I read for the first time at the age of 58, and I was so angry when I read When God Was a Woman. And that was when I realized that everything that I learned so far was completely a fraud. And that's what really opened myself into anger, into what, you know, it's the spiral work of Joanna Macy, gratitude, but then honoring the pain that was inside myself, the anger, and then seeing with new eyes and going forth. That was really my deep path. And that's been not long. I've been 6 years in this path, and I've been really working like, you know, I would say, you know, that my goddess is Kali, you know, working as a Kali, you know, with fire, you know, with all the fire of the world that I could give out, because I was so angry. And I was so angry also with women. And I realized, I said, what is going on? And that's when in my path, I realized, and I started to ask myself, who am I? What is really the image that I have? Is it my image, or is it a patriarchal image? What is women? And that's how I started to develop these courses and to bring together women and asking themselves questions about, you know, something which is totally unknown in schools, in academia, in universities. Nobody knows about these facts. You have to go in this little circle of women that I've discovered in, you know, 6 years, reading hundreds of books. You know, I didn't have a chance to be in the spiritual feminist movement in America, in the States. It was unknown in Europe. And this is all that is happening. And this for me was such an incredible angry path also, because I was so angry, you know, realizing that I had to discover it 58 years later in my life. And this is when I really said to myself, well, yes, that's the time to go and talk to everyone about it, to talk about matriarchal cultures, to talk about, you know, a different way. And I really believe that women, as a woman, and having been so so much a woman, you know, that has been also disrupted, intoxicated by the system. So I have it in my blood, in everywhere. I can tell you, like every single woman, what is happening to us. So at this point, it's really about, you know, this deep toxicity of the system, which has been taking us all apart. We need to stand up, gather, commune all together as women and change this situation. So that's, you know, how I ended up, you know, getting, you know, so happy doing and being with you also, and knowing that I have a lot of other sisters that are going to change this world. And so that's where I am, you know, and it's been a deep path also of discovering myself and also pain. There is no way that we can, you know, be able to understand if we don't honor. And that's what we also do in our courses, to honor the pain that we have inside ourselves, because this gives us also the strength and the capacity to go forward. And the world, you know, this patriarchal world doesn't want us. They want us to be happy all the time, but it's not possible. We need to ground in gratitude, the gratitude for life, but at the same time, we need to be into our, you know, our mournings, our sorrows, and then not just linger in there, but just come out and see with new eyes and go forth, and then start all over again and go for it. And that's how I, you know, I hope that everyone is going to start, you know, changing this world into something different. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sabina. I loved your whole journey, the way that you took us on this progression, because you shared with us the sense of your paradigm shift. You know, the experience that you have cracked open, where you were just weeping at the lies that were fed to you, weeping, understanding that you were intoxicated by a system, that we're all intoxicated like a drug, and that it takes something radical to really just open us up. And I just want to make this statement that oftentimes it isn't until we are free, and I would say, you know, as a crone, your energy becomes different on the inside. Our hormones are changed. It affects our thinking. And now we're seeing towards the end of our lives that we have a legacy, you know, the truth that we want to be able to give to the generations to come. What is that truth? And I am just so encouraged that you have started your institute, you're organizing, and that you have connected with Jen. It is absolutely essential. And this phrase that keeps coming back around, which is woman-led, does not, you know, and all are welcome. It is bringing back into balance in a gentle way, where women are taking back the reins of the agency of bringing back sanity to the human race, to treat the world as if it were your children and your mother. I mean, it is just brilliant. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing that. And Maya has her hand up, so I want to give her an opportunity to respond there.
Yes, thank you. 20 minutes applause for Sabina, because this is something that happens also in spirituality, and I think it's very toxic. The belief that this feminine has to be all vanilla goddesses. What I said about Aphrodite, she's known as the vanilla goddess, but she's not. She has also aspects like Kali, as Sabina said, Aphrodite Androphonos, the killer, is one of her epithets, and the majority of people don't know, because these aspects of dark Aphrodite have been erased by history, by patriarchal classical Greek male narrators. And in modern spirituality, I'm seeing a lot of this, that we women are too enraged, too upset, and this is not feminine, and the change is not going to happen through rage. But rage, pain, and anger, all these feelings, all the feelings and emotions are important, especially anger, which is set to the side for we women, especially in spirituality. And it's so toxic because rage tells us that our boundaries have been violated, that our needs have been unmet or violated. So this is very important to redefine what's feminine and what's not. Kali is not a vanilla goddess, and yet she is an expression of feminine. Aphrodite Androphonos, or the dark Aphrodite, she's not a vanilla goddess, yet the feminine is also that. So I think it's important to restore that, not just in society, but also in the spiritual fields, because I think this is very dangerous. So thank you for bringing this out.
Thank you, Maya. Jen.
Yeah, thank you all so much. We need to think about where we are now in time and in the history of the world, because we've arrived at two enormous crises, and there are also others going on. That is the environmental crisis and the crisis of the war of Israel against Gaza, and seeing day by day horrible atrocities committed on vulnerable human beings, and it is being accepted by governments like my own government in the United States, not only accepted but backed by our government with our tax dollars, and sending those armaments that are killing people. But it's just incredible that such a horrible event could be happening and it not be stopped. And that is just because of patriarchy and capitalism are the oppressor of the world, and they are the destroyer of the world because of the environment that we're killing. So we are very important as women who have chosen alternative ways to solve this. And we're lucky to be in this situation that where at least we can combine with each other and try to do something. So I'm very grateful for you all having come and for your lives and for your having spoken. And I just think we need to go forward as much as we can to create this alternative and to do this paradigm shift that has to happen in order for our beautiful planet, our beautiful human race, our maternal human race to survive. So thank you for coming.
Thank you, Jen. I think it was really important that both Sabina and Maya brought forward the notion of, this emotional content, the need to be able to have the capacity to actually feel your full emotions, what it means to be a human, but more importantly, to take that as a signal to bring something useful forward, to not collapse into a frozen mode or stay stuck in the anger, that change needs to happen. And clearly, each of you, Stefania, Sabina, Maya, and Jen has her own story about her paradigm shift, after, that we've heard, that I am, it's every woman and every person needs to have that moment that they can actually grasp the aha, and we each have a responsibility to recognize that when we tell our authentic stories, that it really opens people up to feel safe to question their own paradoxical values. It really does. So I just want to encourage each of you who are listening to us to not feel uncomfortable to even present your maybe not yet fully formed thought, but to pose the question and ask and invite people to engage in a conversation to help clarify or bring to light these very, very difficult places that we need to change. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm looking at the clock. We have probably another moment to ask a question, unless there are others, you know, Maya or Sabina or Stefania would like to respond before we take another question. We might have a moment for that. And if not, I can call on Liliana to see if she has a question for us.
Yes, yes, I do. There's a comment from Patricia White and it's to Sabina, and it says, Sabina, I love your passion and anger. It's another thing we have been denied. We have been denied as feminine by patriarchy, and part of that is never to be angry. Kali needs to come through as well as Aphrodite. She, in all of her many faces, even women, try to shut each other down because of that colonized definition. So the question is, can you talk more about the courses that you're teaching?
Yes, well, I mean, it is about, you know, going into a deep journey, especially in the cultural dimension, because when we're doing the Shidi, the part that is related to matriarchal societies is the part that is the cultural dimension. Because, you know, when you are creating a society, when you're recreating a new world, there's not only the cultural side, you have the economic, you have the you know, the ecological, you have the political, you have everything. But in the cultural, talking about the spiritual, it is about really reframing the matriarchal values, the maternal values, because we've been trying to use matriarchal as a word, and I'm a student of Heide Gardner-Abendroth, and she's really sustaining matriarchal, the word, as really important. But people, as soon as we say matriarchy, right away they immediately imagine that it's the opposite of patriarchy. So it's women over men and men over women. And so it is really a journey of teaching these people that, you know, matriarchal societies were egalitarian. They used sociocracy. They had the maternal gift economy. They were politically, you know, they were not run as states, but as clans. So you really have to reshape and restudy history. And, you know, going back also to the old goddesses, you know, going to the goddesses before the patriarchal system. So when we're talking about Aphrodite, when we're talking about Apollo, or we're talking about Zeus, or any of the Greek or Roman gods, they were not the matriarchal gods. So they were the patriarchal gods. So it is in our journey, in our cultural dimension, we are going through in this deep journey of, you know, sort of honoring, you know, what has happened, you know, what was patriarchy, how patriarchy has erased deeply who we were as women. And more than that, I believe, but that's my firm belief, as mothers, you know, I mean, as creatrix, as creatresses, you know, because that's what happened. So that's what we do in our courses, and that's the dimension of the matriarchal society, the cultural dimension. But then you also have the other dimensions, and in that we work together. But the matriarchal spirit, it's an ecological spirit, it's a spirit of community. And it's not something that is, you know, in the eco-village movement, in the ecological movement, communities is this. So, I mean, all of this thread, the matriarchal with the ecological, with the maternal, with the goddesses, they're all, you know, sort of, it's all threads that we're weaving together, and they will come to this beautiful, you know, tapestry, you know, which is a new tapestry. So we have a course in Umbria, which is starting for 7 days in Umbria from the 20th to the 29th. And that's when we will talk about matriarchal. But it's not only about talking, it's about doing together, it's about weaving together, cooking, living together. It's about head, heart, and hands. So how do you create a community? You create it, you know, just by being, you know, together and making something new and different. It's hard work, because we're all intoxicated, as I said, and I mean, we're all learning. But we have deep listening as a tool. We're looking with nonviolent communication. So we have a hard work to do, because we are all, you know, in this together, and we've been so intoxicated for 6,000 years that it's really, really a lot of work to be done. But we don't need to stop. That's it. We just need to continue until we change it.
Thanks, Sabina.
Do you have Zoom courses?
You said, do you offer online courses? Do you say that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I offer online courses about sacred sexuality, which are shorter courses in English and in Italian. So there are two different paths, one for the English speakers and one for the Italians. And so sacred sexuality courses for women who want to do that just for themselves, because I think that an important part of the social revolution and cultural revolution and feminist and matriarchal revolution passes through sexuality, sacred sexuality, which is the force that moves the world and is the reason why we are here. So the sacredness of the Aphrodisiac principle of attraction. And one is starting just now, which is the sex coach training, and you can find it on my website. And also the priestess training. I offer it in Italian and for English speakers. And it's mainly online, but with a 1-week retreat in Italy, because there are people from US coming, from Canada, from other parts, very far parts of the world. So I want to give them the possibility to practice. And it's intense because I do lots of meetings and lives online. And also there is the intensive immersion here in Rome at the temple and at the in the sacred places of Rome. One is happening just now in June with the big gathering of the priestesses and priests, and the Kipi, which is the gathering of all the people that want to have an in-depth immersion into goddess Aphrodisiac spirituality. And as I said, there is the tour. But I think it's important to underline that these are not just trainings that, I mean that, for example, the sex coach training, one woman would want to do it for herself, but also to do it for a living, to help other women follow the path of sacred pleasure. And this is a path which is not just the path of sexuality and sacred pleasure, but also a spiritual path and a political path and a cultural path. All of my teachings are. While the priestess training is longer, it's 3 years, because I think that any serious training to become a priestess or a priest requires at least 3 years. I've been advised by many to reduce to 1 year, but I always refused, because this is just not an economical thing. It's sacred. So I think at least 3 years is the minimum to learn. And we study, of course, gift economy, nonviolent communication, consensus method in taking decisions in the temple, how to mediate in conflicts with empathic communication, so emotional communication, sexual education, but not the medical one, but the spiritual and emotional, and artistic communication, the ars amandi, which in Latin means the art of making love. Because Aphrodite teaches us to make love with life, not just through sexuality, but really to craft love in everyday life. What I told you before, which is the main value of Aphrodite: make love with life and leave the space in which you are better than you found it. This is a core teaching. This is not just a way of saying make love, not war. This is real. This is a mantra of the everyday life: make love, not war. And everywhere you go, I teach that to the priestesses of the temple, regarding the temple, but also regarding their houses and the parks, and everywhere we go in pilgrimage, and we bring trash bags to collect the dirt, because being a priestess is not just about, it's also, yes, beautiful ceremonies for the community, but also touching the dirt and cleansing the sheets in front of the temple. Also, the dirty things when you go into the woods or when you go to the seashore, this is sacred too. So, yes, this is to answer the question that you asked before, also to Sabina, but I think this is very important to say. And of course, I train online, but I think it's always, I do the blended versions. So for people that come from very far from Rome, I offer online courses, but then at a certain point, we need to meet in person, eyes in the eyes, heart to heart, hand to hand, and feel each other. So as I said before, if you want to join the big gathering, the Goddess Tour and Retreat, and have an immersive experience of what Goddess spirituality is, of what matriarchal world is, how he is the practical life of the temple here, because we're making it for real, not just in words, which are important, of course, but not enough. Come join us. You will have a beautiful experience with people from all over the world.
Thank you, Maya. I'm looking at the time, unfortunately. We have come to the end of our time together, and I wondered if Stefania has anything she'd like to close with. Maya, could you ask her that just briefly?
Stefania, vuoi aggiungere qualcosa?
She was disconnected at some point. She has not returned.
Ah, okay.
Okay, I'm sorry that she's not here to be with us. But how about Maya? Are you good with your words? Because you left us with just a beautiful, welcoming, and really good foundation. Do you have anything else you'd like to close with, or is that good? Are you good?
Can you repeat from time to time?
Yes. Do you have any other words you'd like to close with, or do you feel complete? You gave us a full, complete answer with your last words.
I think, yeah, just let's meet in person as much as we can. I love the online because it's important. It allows us to be here. So it's sacred. It's sacred. And it made a gift economy, matriarchal values and goddess values being reachable and knowable for people from all over the world. So blessed be the virtual world, because it's been our byproduct as a humanity. So it's important the way we use it. We are using it for the greatest good. And at a certain point, let's meet in person. So I hope to see you really here.
Beautiful.
And to have you, Letecia, you have to come to Rome.
I know.
I'm waiting for you.
Yes, I hope to come soon, sooner than later. Sabina, would you like to share some closing words with us? Is there something you'd like to offer?
Well, I am numbed by all your beautiful words. I would say, you know, let's work together for as women, collaborate. We need a lot of that. We need collaboration. We need to heal, and we need to not so much get together, but for real, you know, get as sisters or as mothers or whatever. I still feel that there's a lot of work that we have to do to combine, to be one strong, fearful force with no me, myself, I am, or patriarchal values, but just like a huge group of women that work together without egos, you know, and that's really, if we can do that, we can really change the world.
Thanks, Sabina. How about you, Jen? Is there something that you'd like us to close with? I'm going to call on you in a minute, but would you like closing words for the session right now?
Oh, well, I'd just like to say thank you so much for your important messages. And I guess the main thing I have to say is that really despair is not admissible. We have to keep on working in spite of the tremendous things we're seeing happening. And somebody that I asked about this kind of thing years ago said a revolutionary is always optimistic. So that's our duty.
I like that responsibility. I can take that on. So I would like to just thank Maya Vassallo de Florio, Stefania Bellini, Sabina Santovetti, and Genevieve for being with us today and bringing us this vision of what is arising in Italy. It's so inspiring. I want to thank Diane for all of her technical support, Liliana and Judith for being patient with us and organizing questions and presenting them for our panelists. And on behalf of the International Feminists for the Gift Economy Network, I would like to thank all of you who are joining us in the room today. And for those of you who are watching this recording, it is because of you, because of the inspiration that we have to ensure that our commitment, our words, is to help shift your paradigm. So please feel free to share this recording to your friends and family. If you want to be notified of our upcoming salons and events, please do sign up for our mailing list that we send out just on occasion to let you know at maternalgifteconomymovement.org, which is where you will also find the recording of this session. If you have any other questions, comments, or suggestions, please do send them to us. We do respond at maternalgifteconomy@gmail.com. I'm really excited for our next session, which will be on July 15th, Salon number 66 with Darsha Navaris and Genevieve Vaughan. So Jen, could you just tell us a little bit about what it is? Because it's going to be quite dynamic, I'm sure.
Sorry, before you do, that's June 15th, not July 15th.
Oh, sorry, June 15th. Yes.
Yeah. It's about misogyny. So that means what all about the putting down of women, the hatred of women, and really what it has been through the centuries, the lack of listening to women. How has it been that we've been shut out of the leadership of society when really we have the values, women, not all women, but we all have the potential, and as men do, but how did it happen that we're all the values of care, the values of the gift, of matriarchy have been excluded, and women have been hated, and so often throughout history. So that's what Darsha Narvaez and I are going to talk about.
I'm very, very excited to hear what you both have to say. So join us in 2 weeks, and that is June 15th for Salon number 66. I'm really thrilled. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. And let's spread plenty of love and gift economy, and may there please be peace. May we work towards that peace that we need everywhere in the world. May the gifts circulate everywhere. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.